Different type of video for you guys. Shout out to Ohara. Because of him, theories have been flowing. I do think Mr. Morge made this video before Ohara's. So yeah, definitely before. Because of that, and Ohara, the greatest theory you will ever watch, I guess. A lot of people have been asking and saying, hey, they think Morge's video could be better. So I'm like, okay, I'm in a theory mood. Talk to Morge. Hey, Morge, do you mind me reacting to this video? Morge says it's cool. So I'm like, okay, cool. We're going to react to the video. It's the end of One Piece solved. We're going to react to the entire video, give our thoughts, and see if it's greater than the greatest theory you'll ever watch. Because a lot of people were co-signing that and saying Morge's theory. But we'll see. If you're here for the first time, we do videos like this all the time in regards to whatever. Subscribe to the channel, right? Drop a like as well. I would certainly appreciate that. And without further ado, let's enjoy this video.
Hey everyone, so today I want to talk about what is, in my opinion, the greatest One Piece theory of all time.
Okay.
And no, I'm not just talking myself up here
Yes, you are, Morge. Yes, you are.
because it is not my theory.
Oh.
This is actually a well-known One Piece theory that has been out there for some time. I believe the origin, as far as I know, is a post on the Arlong Park forum.
Oh, this is going way back.
Original post below, but I don't even know if that is the first person to have thought of it. This is, by the way, the theory of what One Piece is.
Okay.
Which is why I think it is essentially the greatest theory of all time, simply because it is the best answer I have ever seen anyone pose as to what the One Piece actually is.
So this is great because this is, especially post the greatest theory you'll ever watch, I want to see a different mindset approaching it. Because I've seen, a ton of theories about what the One Piece is. Saying this is the greatest. That's been thrown around a lot. Let's see.
Which means it answers the fundamental mystery posed at the start of the series. By far the most important mystery in the story. What is this treasure that everyone is searching for?
Okay.
And you might be thinking, Morge, what kind of a video is this if you're just talking about somebody else's theory? And that is a great question.
Okay.
You see, this theory is from 2013. A lot of story has happened since then.
This is true.
I wanted to talk about this theory for a long time.
All right.
Precisely because the further and further the story has gone on, the more and more evidence I have seen that supports this theory. I think that enough has happened since that theory was posted that it's time to take another look at it with a wealth of new evidence and consider if maybe it actually is just the definitive answer as to what One Piece is.
This is 8 years later.
Before we get into it, make sure to subscribe for more One Piece videos.
All right, it's time to subscribe to Morge.
Let me quickly break down what the theory originally was before getting into new evidence that I am personally bringing to the table.
Okay.
The theory is that One Piece is not a treasure like gold or some weapon or even a poneglyph. Rather, it is the creation of a new ocean itself. Right now, the world is split into 4 oceans because of the Red Line and the Grand Line.
Right.
However, if the Red Line were to be destroyed at 2 central points where it intersects with the Grand Line, meaning Reverse Mountain and Marijua, then suddenly all 4 blue seas would connect. It would be the creation of a new ocean.
I've heard this one before.
Would finally be in One Piece. The idea is that this new ocean is the treasure of One Piece itself. And it is what the entire series has been leading to from the start.
The thing is, this being the treasure of One Piece, it's like, okay, so if this is the treasure of One Piece, then that means that at Laugh Tale, we would have to have just information in regards to how to do these things and what is necessary and what needs to be done. So I'm interested in how this ties in, right?
So for starters, this would prove Charlie's prophecy that Luffy was always destined to destroy Fishman Island, as the destruction of the Red Line at Marijua would ultimately destroy Fishman Island below it as well in the process. It may even be why Joy Boy left an apology to the Fishman people. On top of this, it connects to Sanji's dream of the All Blue.
The All Blue, right.
Supposedly there is a sea out there where all 4 blues connect, and fish from every ocean can be found. However, interestingly, we've never heard of this sort of sea existing across 1,000 chapters of adventures.
Right.
And it doesn't even make sense for a place like that to exist, except for the central points where the Red Line and the Grand Line intersect. As such, the All Blue is actually something that would have to be created. It is a legend tied to the One Piece all along.
Well, the thing is, if that's the case, then the All Blue did exist at one point. Everything did intersect. Then the Grand Line, well, the Red Line is actually man-made, right? But well, I guess we'll get further.
And will be formed when the Red Line is destroyed. On top of that, the 2 ancient weapons we know of so far perfectly play a role in this theory. Pluton is a warship of tremendous firepower, capable of destroying islands.
Yes.
And as such, it is also likely capable of destroying a portion of the Red Line. It may be the key to destroying Reverse Mountain, as well as the Merijoa section.
Okay.
On top of that, the other reason that the ocean was restricted, besides the Red Line,
Calm belt.
was the Calm Belt. If the Red Line prevents sailors from traveling between the right and left hemispheres, the Calm Belt is what prevents sailors from traveling between the north and south hemispheres.
So, okay, this is great because the world government, everything that they've preached and how they go about things, it seems like control, order, and dictating that is, above anything. And also, there's something in history that talks about when you keep the people separated, right? They can't compare notes. Right, so keeping people in the different blues and all this different stuff, so people can't really travel as easily, where people typically just rather stay where they are. It prevents the access to knowledge and truths, right? So people, because they can't compare notes, compare information, they're just going to stay where they are, kind of segregated. It kind of enforces the control that the world government seems to be all about. So I like where this is going so far. I'm not going to lie to you.
The reason being, Calm Belt has Sea Kings. However, the ancient weapon Poseidon could easily prevent the Sea Kings from being a problem for sailors ever again.
Right.
As such, with the Red Line destroyed and the Calm Belt neutralized, there would finally truly be a free, open ocean.
Grammarly can help you write quickly and confidently, so you know.
A free open ocean is not what the world government wants. I think anything free triggers them. I think literally they don't do free anything. I think for the schools in Merijoa, maybe they get free lunches, but I think they probably charge them like a cent or something. Nothing free. No free school lunches, nothing. They don't no free parking, nothing for the world government. Damn, another one? Playing. So far, so good. Not gonna lie, so far so good. I'm enjoying it. And the thing is, I've heard pieces and things like this before. I'm interested in how everything more connects, because this is made in 2013. It's been 8 years now. Let's go.
Lastly, even just looking at the construction of the One Piece world, the entire story is a search for a pirate's treasure.
Okay.
The biggest pirate treasure hunt in the history of pirate treasure hunts. Traditionally, pirates' treasures are marked on a map with a giant X marks the spot.
Correct.
As such, for the biggest pirate treasure hunt in the history of fiction, the grandest of grand treasures imaginable, there is a simple brilliance to the idea that it was hidden in plain sight all along, marked from the start with a giant X that spans the globe, with the great treasure precisely at the center of that X. Even just the simple fact that it is the red line doubles down on this idea, as it is traditionally a red X that marks the pirate's treasure. So that's the theory. To me, all that sounds really good on paper. Best theory for One Piece that I've ever heard.
Right.
And there are more details that the original post has, but those are the main selling points. Now, if you're already somewhat interested, everything
I am.
they say next may seal the deal for you.
Let's see if it's sealed, Morge.
And I think you may at least have second thoughts after hearing my reasons. So, let's get into my thoughts.
It's funny because Morge, I think Morge presentation-wise is probably one of the more convincing One Piece YouTubers. With the facts and evidence he presents, and even, his delivery is very convincing. So I think for that reason, that's why Morge is one of the best theorists, one of the best One Piece YouTubers that we have, period. So shout out to Morge, because I think that's a talent. I see it on Twitter all the time, where they're like, yo, Morge, I go into Morge's video and I'm like, what the hell is Morge talking about? And after they're like, you know what, he got me. He got me. I believe that, Smoker's joining the crew.
From the way I view the series, this theory is probably the most fitting idea for what One Piece could possibly be.
All right.
That stays true to everything Oda has set up both plot-wise and thematically throughout the story for several reasons.
All right.
So, first of all, let me quickly address a common criticism I see of this theory, which is that an ocean, a new ocean, is not a treasure, and that Oda promised that there would be an actual physical treasure, therefore this theory can't be correct. Guess what? A new ocean is a physical treasure.
Okay, so that's something I thought about, was at Laugh Tale, is it going to be an actual treasure or just information on how to attain this thing? But he's explaining here.
What Oda said specifically is that One Piece wouldn't be some sort of intangible concept like friendship or love or something like that.
Yeah.
The creation of a giant new ocean to sail around on is very much a real tangible reward. And if anything, it would probably be the reward that would make Luffy the most happy. It is essentially a reward perfect for someone like Luffy, because by the end of the series, Luffy will have sailed the entire Grand Line. He will already have completed the journey across the most exciting sea. The only way up from there for him is if now all of the world's oceans were to suddenly be connected, and he's now got one giant new ocean to explore, where he could suddenly freely travel anywhere and everywhere, no more restrictions between the four blues, just finally endless open world adventure for Luffy and the crew.
Okay.
What do you think Luffy could be rewarded with that could be actually better than a giant endless ocean of adventure? Meat? Money? A new hat? I think it's very clearly this. And again, while Oda has made clear that things like friendship aren't a treasure,
right.
Oda also went to great lengths from the start of the series, from all the way back in East Blue, to make clear to readers that a treasure can still mean many different things. If you go back and reread East Blue, you will see how many times Oda tried to beat that message into our brains. So yes, an ocean can be a treasure. Lastly, just think about it from the perspective of Sanji's dream. Sanji was searching for the All Blue, this special ocean. Before, pretend you've never heard of the theory that the One Piece is the All Blue. Would you have said that the All Blue, Sanji searching for the All Blue, is the same as just finding, friendship or love? No, I'm pretty sure it's pretty obvious that the All Blue that Sanji was searching for is a physical, tangible goal for Sanji.
I would say this. Out of all the Straw Hat streams, not all of them, but out of all the Straw Hat streams, Sanji's, Usopp's, I think Jinbei's, it's like Usopp wants to be a great warrior, right? Where it's somewhat tangible, but it's more of an acknowledgement. Where for Sanji with the All Blue, when I first heard about it, it was like, okay, I'm not sure where you're going with this, Sanji, but you're a chef. However you were raised, I'm sure that's the reason why this resonates with you. It was odd, right? Initially, I was like, okay, it seemed childlike. Almost not necessarily intangible, but it's like All Blue, whatever. Jinbei's as well. It's like, freedom for the fishmen. It's a tangible thing, but something that has to be accomplished. So with that being said, I really like how Oda set up the Straw Hat goals, where for some of them, it's actually tangible. Where it's like for Zoro, the world's greatest swordsman, Luffy finding One Piece, becoming the Pirate King, Nami, map of the world, all the Frankie, drawing the ship for the Pirate King, all these different things. It mixed in. There are things like the All Blue and the fishmen, and becoming a warrior of the sea. So just wanted to throw that in there because I think it just adds to Oda's genius, to be honest.
So you shouldn't change that mentality when we find out that the One Piece is the creation of an ocean like that. A new ocean is obviously a physical reward. It is not some vague concept like friendship. So that criticism aside, let me just start getting into my arguments in favor of the theory. Right. So for starters, at the most basic simple level, this is by far the best idea for what One Piece is that matches the core theme of the series. Freedom. The One Piece is essentially freedom itself with this theory. It is the creation of a new world, an open world, not bound by walls or ocean lines. And of course, since the creation of One Piece would naturally be marked by the destruction of Mary Geoise, it would be the end of the Celestial Dragon's rule, and the moment the world becomes free again. As such, in both a literal geographic sense and in the actual series' central conflict, the destruction of the Red Line at Mary Geoise is the birth of a new world of freedom.
We're here for the heavy flowers and the wedgie pickers.
We talking about free, but a little too free for my taste. I'll just, whatever.
The dawn of a new world. Or actually, maybe it could be better said to be the dawn of a new world of freedom. Because there's a long...
What does the dawn have to do with this?
long-running theme that has been built up throughout the story. There is a cycle of oppression, destruction, and rebirth. Or more precisely, I guess, darkness, destruction, and a new dawn. This is something I discussed at length in my video, The Dawn of One Piece, but let me summarize here. The messaging that Oda has woven into the story over a long period of time is that there is a great darkness that envelops the world, that is, the world government. And it has been keeping the world in essentially a long night for 800 years. The sun represents freedom, and so the dawn of this world is the birth of a new world of freedom. And lastly, the path to the sun always begins with destruction first. The existing order has to be destroyed for the dawn to rise on a new world. If we focus on this point of destruction, we can see quotes supporting this all the way back in Drum Kingdom, with Dalton explaining that Drum Kingdom needed to be destroyed, and that they needed to start again with a clean slate. And so the arc ends when they are reborn as a country without a name. In Fishman Island, it is again stressed that it is time to end the darkness by destroying the country's previous history, with Fukaboshi begging Luffy to return the nation back to nothing. And most importantly, we have Dressrosa. Again, I have a full video just on Dressrosa explaining how Dressrosa is meant to function as a microcosm of the world government as a whole, ruled by a celestial dragon the same way the world is ruled by celestial dragons, Dressrosa seems to be nice but has evil under the surface, just like the world government.
Right.
Doflamingo makes people that don't obey him disappear, just like the world government makes potential threats disappear. Doflamingo erases knowledge and history from people's minds, just like the world government erases the history of the world, so on and so forth.
Yes.
I really suggest watching that video for a more comprehensive breakdown, but the important point is that the entire ending of Dressrosa culminated in the old nation of Dressrosa being completely destroyed, completely and utterly reduced to rubble, which allowed for the birth of a new land of freedom. And so that is the consistent messaging throughout the story. Destruction of the pre-existing order, reduce everything to rubble, tear it down to nothing, and then you have the birth of a new free world.
I follow so far.
There's no way the finale of One Piece does not end with the grandest, most climactic depiction of this concept that we have been seeing throughout the story.
Okay, I see where you're going here, Morge. All right, I see where you're going here, Morge. I see what you're doing. You're saying that with that theme, thematically, with the darkness, the light, destruction, oppression, well, darkness, oppression, light, destruction, destruction, light, the dawn. If that theme is so apparent or prevalent throughout the story, why would it not be part of the grand finale that Oda has been referencing time and time and time again? I'm inclined to agree.
Marijoa is perfectly in place, exactly where it needs to be for us to get that big finale, where we can see this idea play out on the grandest stage possible, the destruction of the existing order, reduce it all to rubble, tear it down to nothing, and suddenly you're looking at the birth, the dawn of a new world of freedom.
Okay.
The celestial dragons are gone, there is a boundless open ocean with no barriers, no great controlling force. It is the dawn of a new world. Now, one thing people don't see quite fitting is that the end of the story is just going to be Pluton being fired at the Red Line. This is where I think that there's a crucial, powerful piece that was missing from the initial theory.
All right.
I'm going to get back to Marijoa in a second, but first let me remind you guys that the Red Line needs to be destroyed at 2 points. First Reverse Mountain, then Marijoa.
Correct.
I think no matter what, Pluton would be used to destroy one of these points at least, to sort of check off the use of that ancient weapon in the story. Most likely, that would be Reverse Mountain, since that comes first chronologically. The destruction of Marijoa should be the final climactic moment of the series. It also just makes sense based on the Straw Hats' journey. They should be getting close to Reverse Mountain again by the end of their journey. It would make a lot of sense for the Reverse Mountain plotline to be taken care of first before Marijoa. It especially makes a lot of sense
For Brook and Laboon. Yeah.
Laboon's entire storyline was built up around him versus the mountain. Him versus the mountain that he believed had his friends waiting for him beyond it. His entire life was bashing his head over and over again futilely against that mountain, trying to bring it down.
I was totally stranded.
These ads are almost too perfect. Talk about Laboon and his friends being away from him. Here comes the goddamn ad about being stranded. What's going on? My FBI agent is working overtime today. My bad. This video is sponsored by Magic Spoon. Long story short, birthday just passed. Not gonna say how old I am, but went to the doctor. Basically told me I've been eating too much sugar, meaning my other cereal that I eat, it's a whole lot of sugar in them, and it was like, okay, you gotta cut back. So I'm really happy Magic Spoon is sponsoring this video because it's exactly what the doctor ordered. What I mean is, Magic Spoon is 0 grams of sugar, 14 grams of protein, only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving, and only 140 calories. Only 140 calories. They have some amazing flavors, the cocoa, the fruity, and even the peanut butter. But there are some other flavors that I really like the cookies and cream, the cinnamon, maple waffle, and even blueberry. Keto friendly, gluten-free, soy-free, low carbs. I mean, click the link below. You can get a variety pack today and you get $5 off. Promo code BDA, all that good stuff. And just be healthier and be better. A lot of those things that we normally eat is just flavor and sugar. And for Magic Spoon, it's a lot of flavor, no sugar. So give it a try. Click the link below today. Use code BDA. No, so far it's great. Makes a lot of sense in regards to, hold on, shit.
What do you think that was set up for? How do you think Laboon is going to reunite with Brook and the Straw Hats? Do you think that they're gonna come sailing from over the horizon to slowly come into sight? Or is it not infinitely better set up for that mountain to finally come down in front of Laboon's eyes with the crew sailing through it? To me,
that is perfect.
The inclusion of the Laboon plotline into the story in the first place inherently makes a lot more sense. Like, why Oda even thought to include it in the first place if One Piece was the destruction of the Red Line all along. Because if the Red Line always needed to be destroyed, If Oda always knew that that's what would create the One Piece, then technically to be symmetrical, he would have to have it destroyed at 2 points to actually create the actual full open ocean. So Oda couldn't just have one big destruction event occur at Merijoa, he technically would also need to destroy Reverse Mountain at some point over the course of the story. Okay, but then that kind of makes the destruction of the Red Line at the end of the story slightly anticlimactic, since now it's happening twice. But not if you're smart like Oda and you realize you can get another story out of it. And so Oda wrote in Laboon, a character whose entire storyline was built around wanting to see the destruction of Reverse Mountain, so he could be reunited with his friends. And Oda wrote in Brook, so that this storyline actually culminates in a powerful reunion when the Straw Hats inevitably come all the way back around and destroy Reverse Mountain.
Listen, theories are amazing. I'm at a place where I'm skeptical of everything, but with some of these theories, this theory in particular, when you think of the level of planning, where because Luffy had been talking about a musician from the beginning of the story, right? Brook's incorporation, Laboon's incorporation. This means Oda has had the bare bones of exactly what he wanted to do since the beginning, and even including Reverse Mountain again, the Red Line, it being destroyed, Fishman Island, the prophecy. This isn't normal, dog. Like, this isn't regular. Like, this level of just planning and storytelling, it is unlike anything we've seen before and anything we will see again. Seriously.
That makes it so that the first instance of destroying the Red Line is its own special event for an entirely different reason. It's the resolution of a long-running character plotline. From there, the Straw Hats could easily sail back through the first half of the Grand Line to Merijoa, gathering allies from the first half of the Grand Line as well along the way. I fully expect the nation of Alabasta to be involved in the final battle. I fully expect Amazon Lily to be involved, so on and so forth. Whereas the Straw Hat allies from the New World could easily follow them through the first half of the Grand Line as well, or just come around at Merijoa from the other side in a sort of dual front attack. It doesn't really matter. And now we get to Merijoa.
Okay.
Do I think that Merijoa is going to be destroyed by Pluton? No. That is a weird, anticlimactic end to a story like One Piece.
Right.
Just having a big ship shoot a big cannon to make a big explosion.
That's probably where the final battle takes place. I mean, if Akainu is fighting there, you have Luffy fighting there. Some people think Shanks will be it. I don't think so. Garp, Dragon. It should basically lead to the cataclysmic destruction of Merijoa. Imu, we're not sure what his power entails. Does Blackbeard make it that far? We don't know, but we'll see what Morch says.
And then freedom. I doubt it would ever be that easy. I think the simplest answer is that the final arc of One Piece will climax the same way that every major arc of One Piece climaxes, with one final attack by Luffy. I've talked before about how one of the biggest strengths of One Piece fights is Oda's ability to think through how he can do something special with Luffy's final blow. Something meaningful, something thematically resonant, something beyond just beating the villain, something that carries symbolism with it. There is also a trend for Luffy's final attacks to conclude with him hitting his opponent through something. Punching Crocodile through layers of bedrock, taking Arlong down through Arlong Park, Luffy through the tower, Morty through the ship, so on and so forth. And most importantly, specifically when it came to how Luffy defeated Doflamingo, who was, again, a Celestial Dragon, whose rule over Dressrosa was explicitly meant to parallel the Celestial Dragon's rule over the entire world. Luffy ended it by sending Doflamingo crashing down through the earth of Dressrosa, reducing everything below him to rubble, which was what birthed the new land of freedom.
Yeah.
So what am I saying here? I am saying I would bet all the money I have in the world that the story of One Piece will end with Luffy, with his own hands, creating the One Piece, very likely by punching the final villain of the series down through the Red Line. Don't believe me?
That's next level.
Let's look at Fishman Island one more time. So for one, Madame Charlie said Luffy would destroy Fishman Island, and I think that is very literal, that Luffy will literally be the one to destroy that Red Line with his own two hands. Luffy will himself be the one to destroy Fishman Island in the process, though obviously for the sake of creating a better world.
Right. Why the ads are always perfect? Like, that's my reaction inside right now. Oh shit, this nigga's spitting. Oh man, I mean, I watch the ads. Like, if you're watching a YouTuber, watch the ads, man. It's just, that's how you support the YouTuber. You watch the ad all the way through.
More importantly, what happened the last time Luffy was at the Red Line? How did the story arc of Fishman Island, how did that battle conclude?
Okay.
One giant elephant gathering on the main villain of the arc, Horty Jones, sending him down, defeating Horty Jones in the process of trying to destroy something much larger, the Noah. Why? because Luffy was going to erase Fishman Island's history, reduce what previously existed to nothing so that they could start with a blank slate. That was Luffy's first big finisher move he used in the post-time skip, a battle taking place right underneath the Red Line. And interestingly, he was stopped early from destroying the Noah completely. We didn't actually get to see that satisfying big finish of Luffy completely destroying the ship.
Right.
I believe this little battle to start the post-time skip was a mirror into the future. I believe the series is going to end much the same way, with Oda starting and ending the post-time skip in similar fashion. Only the next time Luffy is going to be many times stronger, and he's going to be destroying the entire thing. Not just Fishman Island's history, not just Little Noah. Luffy is going to be doing this to the Red Line itself, and bringing the entire thing crashing down. And this time he will go all the way through with it, taking down whatever villain needs to be taken down in the process. Want some more pieces to fall into place? What about Blackbeard and the Gura Gura no Mi?
Right.
Is there a fruit in existence that is better suited to destroying the Red Line than the Gura Gura no Mi? We know Blackbeard is interested in studying history. We know he felt the Gura Gura no Mi was crucial to his long-term goals. Was it just because it was a powerful fruit? Or was it because it had the capability to accomplish his ultimate goal?
That's something that's very interesting, because now I'm starting to piece things together. Thanks to Mr. Morge, thanks to this theory. They said Whitebeard had the power to destroy the world, right? For instance, for the Marines, if people find out about the ancient history, if people find the One Piece, if people destroy Marijoa or the Red Line, for them, that's the end of the world. Where maybe the Gura Gura is not necessarily the thing that can destroy the literal One Piece world, but for them, the end of the world is if the Gura Gura destroys the Red Line or Marijoa, because then you create this free sea. It's a freedom that the world government can't control. So that's something that's interesting. Like, the end of the world, is that literal, or does that mean like the end of the world as we know it? That's very interesting. Something we need to explore.
I'm not even saying that Blackbeard already knows what the One Piece is, just that he may have learned through some means that the Gura Gura no Mi is potentially a useful tool in relationship to the One Piece.
Right.
What's more, a lot of people feel Blackbeard can't possibly be a villain at the final battle at Marijoa, because by then the One Piece will have been found already, right? The One Piece is supposed to be at Rafto, so Blackbeard would have been defeated.
Right.
That's not the case if the destruction of the Red Line is the creation of the One Piece itself. In that case, you could easily conclude the series with a classic pirate duel at the center of the world for the greatest treasure in the world. And what's more, think about Luffy's potential Devil Fruit awakening, which many believe to be the ability to turn surroundings into rubber, based on the fact that Katakuri and Doflamingo's Parmesia awakenings worked like that.
Right.
That seems like an easy potential setup for Blackbeard attempting to destroy the Red Line with the Gura Gura no Mi, only to be countered by Luffy turning it into rubber, making it unquakeable. And sure, now I'm just spitballing a little bit with possibilities, but I do think that those are at least interesting possibilities.
Okay.
And if you think Im is going to be the final villain still and not Blackbeard, sure, I can get behind that. I just know that someone is going to be punched down through the Red Line by Luffy. And here is the last point. Sanji and the All Blue. The original theory makes a great point with that connection. But here I just want to close by adding my reasons for how perfectly fitting and likely how perfectly set up it is that the All Blue is the One Piece. And it starts with me saying, I want to encourage you all to go back and read Baratie, because it is
one of my favorite arcs.
If you do, you can almost feel Oda laughing at how clever he is to hide the truth so plainly that One Piece and All Blue are the same thing. Because Baratie was an arc largely about chasing one's dreams.
Yes.
Sanji was a character who had a grand dream like Luffy, but he felt like he could never allow himself to chase after it because he was indebted to Zeff. Throughout the arc, the dynamic between Luffy and Sanji is that Luffy is trying to show Sanji that there is no use burdening yourself with guilt over a debt that doesn't need to be repaid, because the entire point of Sanji and Zeff's backstory, paralleling Luffy and Shanks' backstory, was that Shanks and Zeff did not make sacrifices for them simply so that they would repay their debts. They made those sacrifices so that Luffy and Sanji would be able to chase their dreams.
Right.
The entire arc was showcasing how Luffy and Sanji were so similar in their passions and their desires. They both had a similar dream and a similar formative experience, but Sanji was bogged down by something that Luffy was not.
Right.
Something holding him back mentally from chasing his dream that he had to ultimately let go of.
And, you know, it's really interesting how experiences can mold somebody. Because think about how Luffy grew up, who his grandfather was. Garp, carefree, does whatever he wants. Ace, carefree, does whatever he wants. The Don, mountain bandits, right? Luffy grew up around people that viewed the world in a different light. They operated differently. It's about freedom. It's about doing whatever you wanted. So he was molded by that. Where Sanji, with Germa 66, with Judge. He always felt like he didn't feel like the world was his oyster, and everything he did, he always felt like he had to repay because he was so grateful for getting him out of those situations. So even for Reiju, getting him out of those situations, his mother is just like that heavy burden that stayed with Sanji throughout. That's why he felt like he had to go at them, and that's why Whole Cake happened, right? Because of how he grew up, being in prison for liking the simple things, where Luffy was thrown into the wild by his grandfather. So it makes sense that, you know, functionally, even though the things that happened to them were similar, they had different reactions to them. They're like, no, I have to be here for Zeph because he got me out of that. Where for Luffy, like, okay, I have to live up to my utmost potential because Shanks got me out of that. So I think that's beautiful. Just amazing and beautiful storytelling, just tying things together by Oda. That's beautiful.
And so ultimately what Luffy and Sanji ended up bonding over in the end was their dreams. So take a second and understand this. Out of all the Straw Hats, out of every single crew member that has joined Luffy, the only one whose bond with Luffy was defined by the sharing of their dreams was Sanji. The only Straw Hat whose origin arc was about learning to follow his dream was Sanji. The brilliance of this arc and what draws Luffy and Sanji together is not just that they had mentors who made sacrifices for them so they could follow their dreams, not just that they're both chasing something that may or may not exist, not just that they're the only two Straw Hats who bonded over chasing dreams, but it's that they had the same dream all along. It's not going to be just some random coincidence that all Blue and One Piece are the same thing. This goes to the core of Sanji's character and why Oda wrote him all along. As the Straw Hat who needed to learn something about dreams, he was the one Straw Hat who had to learn to give in to the romance of dreams like Luffy did, because all along, he and Luffy have the same dream. So ultimately, I think whoever made this theory all the way back in 2013 was spot on.
Right.
And I hope that everything I said today helped you see why I believe this to be true. So if you enjoyed this video, then definitely like, comment, and subscribe. And you can support me on Patreon to get my extended thoughts on this and all future topics.
Okay. What do we think, guys? The thing is, with this theory, it's talking about what the One Piece is, as opposed to the greatest theory by Ohara. It's talking about where Laugh Tale is. Conceptually, they're different, but I guess how it's executed, you know, everybody has their different deliveries. I think this theory is a lot more believable. It's a lot less reaching from different areas. It's a lot more grounded, and even the delivery is a lot more grounded than Ohara's, which I think both theories are amazing for different reasons. But what's more believable? I think this one is more believable for sure. Where it's like, I mean, because I've heard about the all blue theory before, right? And we've explored these thoughts and talked through like, okay, what's possible, what's necessary, Fishman Island, all this. But I liked how Morge wrapped it up and brought it together. Yeah. This might be the greatest. All right, man, give me your thoughts, guys. What do you guys think about this theory? Like I said, go subscribe to Morge. He's fantastic. Channel's fantastic. Amazing content over there. Drop a like on the video as well. This was really, really, really well done. Shout out to Morge for allowing me to react to this video. Yeah, good shit. Good shit. Again, like, subscribe, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rewrite it.